Hola, estudiantes. Bienvenidos a mi canal. Me llamo Marsha Robinson Smith. Hi, students. Welcome to my channel. My name is Marsha Robinson Smith. In today's video, we are going to do a recap on the present tense, and we will be focusing on some irregular verbs. In the last video, we looked at regular AR, ER, and IR verbs in Spanish. So today we are going to be looking at some irregular verbs, as well as look at different situations in which the present tense can be used. Contextual situations, of course. Vamos a continuar. Now, what is the present tense? The present tense is a past tense used in Spanish to indicate completed actions at a point in time, and it is what we call the simple past. Now, let us review when and how to use the present tense. Let's see the present in action. So when we are talking about specific time, dates, etc., we use the present tense. Look at this example. Cristobal Colón, oh, the accent is missing over the second O. Cristobal Colón vino a Jamaica en 1494. Nací en noviembre. Zamora vivió en España con su familia por 13 años. Now, final example there under this heading. Ayer yo fui al mercado y compré unas frutas y verduras, frescas. What about beginning or end of an event? That's when we use the present tense, of course. Look at these examples. El concierto empezó a las 6 de la tarde. Por fin dejó de llover. El musical terminó con una explosión. Reported fact or speech. María me dijo que Pablo rompió la ventana. Francisco fue a Suiza. Sequence of events. Juan Marco visitó a mi casa, tomó las llaves y se fue sin despedirse. Bad, Juan Marco. When there is an interruption. Example. Yo estaba nadando en la piscina cuando Miguel se cayó del árbol y golpeó su cabeza en la piedra. So you notice there was an ongoing action here. What was I doing? I was swimming in the pool when Miguel fell from the tree and hit his head against the stone. Wow. All right, let's look at other examples. For completed actions, they're not infinite. There's a specific time as to when these took place, so they're closed. All right, completed actions in the past. Yo vi al médico de camino a casa. Bebí o tomé el café. And remember too that we have time markers at verbal phrases or words that indicate, for example, like ayer. Those words would indicate ayer anoche, la semana pasada, etc. Words like those indicate the use of the present tense. Vamos a continuar. So we are now going to look or review the conjugations of regular verbs, and now we look at the irregular ones in the present tense. All right? So, for AR verbs, of course, what do? We drop the AR and we add e, aste, o, amos, and aron. And you'll realize that the nosotros form of the verb remains the same as in the present tense, right? Amos, present and present tense, same ending. All right, so for AR verbs, endings are e, for the first person singular, aste, second person singular, that is the to form, o, third person singular or second person polite, which is usted, amos, first person plural, aron, third person plural, or you in general. Okay, the plural form of you. So now let's look at ER and IR verbs. So we know that ER and IR verbs have the same ending. All right. Oh, E is missing. So it is I, io, iste, imos, ieron. Just block out this. This is an error. It should be E. So let me just cover it. All right. So the endings are I, iste, io, imos, ieron. Comí, subí, comiste, subiste, comió, subió, comimos, subimos, comieron, subieron. And these are the same for the same subject. All right, the same subject as indicated for these. So the yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes form. All right, so now we have the cargar zar verbs. All right, so these are irregular verbs. Here we have arrancar, jugar, bautizar. So for verbs that end in car, in the first person, there is an irregularity. And of course, there has to be an irregularity because it would change the pronunciation or, that effect that the verb would take. For example, we wouldn't have that k sound, So for the first person, the verb changes to arranque, arranque. And you can see why. All right, so arrancaste, arrancó, arrancamos, arrancaron. Jugar, G-A-R. So all verbs like jugar, all verbs like arrancar have the same conjugation pattern in the preterite tense. Jugué, jugaste, jugó, jugamos, jugaron. And you realize that the rest of the subject pronouns maintain normality as we would when conjugating AR verbs. All right, it's just the change is taking place in the first person. So for verbs that end in ZAR, que terminan con Z, A, I, R, what do you notice in the first person? Right, we have the Z is changed to C. So instead of saying, well, bautizé, bauticé, it changes to C, the Z of course, and we say bauticé, bautizaste, bautizó, bautizamos, bautizaron. And you realize again that the verb maintains normality for the other subject forms. All right, so we could not continue with the C, of course, because what do you notice would take place? The sound would change. Yes, so it would be bauticaste. No, we want to maintain the S sound in the verb. All right, so now please let's look at some other conjugations. So we're going to look at these irregular verbs like ser, ir, estar, tener, querer, saber. So ser and ir both have the same conjugation. First person, fui. Fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. Estar and tener, look at what we see. They have the same form of conjugation, right? So they have similar stem change as well as the same verb ending. So we realize the uve, uviste, uvo, uvimos, uvieron, right? Stem and ending change. So estar changes to estuve, tener, tuve. Estuviste, tuviste, estuvo, tuvo, estuvimos, tuvimos, estuvieron, tuvieron, was, were, were. Okay? Had. We know that there is only one form in English, and that's had. So the past tense of have is had. Okay. Querer, saber. Quise, quisiste, quiso, quisimos, quisieron. Supe, supiste, supo, supimos, supieron. Take a moment and take us a screenshot and just go through and just remember the conjugations. That's all you need to know. And you'll realize too that there are no accents in these verbs, all right? No accents. So just practice, guys. So just make note that the verbs ser and ir have the same conjugation in the present tense. Context will determine the meaning. So based on the context, you'll know whether it's ser being used or ir. Vamos a continuar. So now we are going to look at actual ways in which we can use the present tense. So we are going to be of an assistance to Roberto, all right? We are going to help Roberto do something. So let's see. So we are going to help Roberto complete his letter to his friend Guillermo by filling in the missing verbs in the present tense, of course. All right. So let's see this letter that Guillermo has to write. Okay, pause the video. Take a screenshot, or if you want, you can write. Okay, you can write. So we have the word bank there with the verbs that you can use. Okay, guys? All right, so you would have paused your video and do the screenshot. So now let us listen in order to practice our intonation and pronunciation, and we are going to also check to see if the answers you
Una
have
carta a
are
Guillermo.
correct.
Colombia,
All right?
23 de abril de 2022. Querido Guillermo, ¿cómo te va? Gracias por tu carta. Tanto tiempo. Hay mucho que contarte sobre mi viaje a Guinea Ecuatorial. Hombre, este país es como un paraíso tropical. Mi tiempo allí fue increíble. Disfruté de la comida, de la música y de los festivales. Durante los 5 meses que estuve allí, cada día probé algo nuevo, pero todos los días yo bebí malamba, una bebida alcohólica de caña de azúcar. Cada 2 días comí su cottage, el plato nacional. Me gustó mucho. Es un plato muy saludable y rico en legumbres, hierbas y carne. A las personas que les gusta la pintura corporal o el senderismo, Guinea Ecuatorial es el país de opción. Me gustaría que estuvieras ahí por las montañas, las selvas y los animales como primates y animales salvajes. La fauna y la flora son impresionantes. El aire fresco de la cima de las montañas es tan refrescante. Créeme, lo pasé muy bien allí y me encantaría volver. No puedo esperar al verano próximo. Ya me tengo que ir. Saluda a Yane por mí. Escríbeme pronto y déjame saber cuáles son tus planes para este verano. Cuídate, tu amigo Roberto. Una carta a
Let's
Guillermo,
listen one more time.
Colombia, 23 de abril de 2022. Querido Guillermo, ¿cómo te va? Gracias por tu carta. Tanto tiempo. Hay mucho que contarte sobre mi viaje a Guinea Ecuatorial. Hombre, este país es como un paraíso tropical. Mi tiempo allí fue increíble. Disfruté de la comida, de la música y de los festivales. Durante los 5 meses que estuve allí, cada día probé algo nuevo. Pero todos los días yo bebí malamba, una bebida alcohólica de caña de azúcar. Cada 2 días comí sucotash, el plato nacional. Me gustó mucho. Es un plato muy saludable y rico en legumbres, hierbas y carne. A las personas que les gusta la pintura corporal o el senderismo, Guinea Ecuatorial es el país de opción. Me gustaría que estuvieras ahí por las montañas, las selvas y los animales como primates y animales salvajes. La fauna y la flora son impresionantes. El aire fresco de la cima de las montañas es tan refrescante. Créeme, lo pasé muy bien allí y me encantaría volver. No puedo esperar al verano próximo. Ya me tengo que ir. Saluda a Yane por mí. Escríbeme pronto y déjame saber cuáles son tus planes para este verano. Cuídate, tu amigo Roberto.
Excelente, estudiantes. I hope that your answers are what are on screen. And if that's the case, well done. And if you didn't get everything correctly, you can always keep practicing. All right? Excelente, muy bien. Okay, so now let us do something else. We're going to, of course, do an assignment. All right, so your assignment for today is to create a dialogue or a travel poster, or write a letter to your friend in Chile telling him or her about how you spent your Christmas holiday. So for the dialogue, you may use structures like ¿A dónde fuiste para la Navidad? ¿Cómo pasaste tus vacaciones de Navidad? ¿Qué hiciste durante las vacaciones de Navidad? So these are some prompters, okay, to start your conversation. So these are the structures you may use, and these are structures that we use in normal conversations. Okay, students, estudiantes? So make sure you include details about the places you went and activities you did, with whom and when, as well as greetings and farewell. So for the, I think this is the, yes, the poster. You're going to, it may be digital or physical, and the title of it should be ¿Cómo pasé mi vacación de Navidad? And the poster should show a timeline of events and activities with you and others. These should be in the form of pictures or drawings with a description of each activity in Spanish. An example of this will be shown on the following slide. All right, so you'll see a sample poster. Now for the other activity, you are to make sure, that is the letter, that you have this information in it. Okay, so the date of course, salutation, closing, and details of the things you did, the places you went, with whom and when. So now let us look at the sample poster. So here is a sample poster, and the title of it is Mis Vacaciones de Navidad en las Bahamas. Okay, my Christmas holidays in the Bahamas. So here is a picture of what? The beach. the theater or the cinema, and a picture of some festivity. Okay, so now for each picture there is a description. For example, for picture number 1, you see a beach here, and you notice the background picture highlighting the Bahamas. Fui a la playa con mi familia. Allí nadé y jugué al voleibol de playa. Me divertí mucho. So this is telling what took place. All right. So I went to the beach with my family. There I swam and played beach volleyball. I had a lot of fun. Okay, so the second picture. En Nochebuena vi una película muy interesante con mi hermana. Likewise, the third one. Bailé y celebré en el festival de Junkanoo. Me lo pasé fenomenal. I know this is typical in the Caribbean. In Jamaica, we have that at Christmas time to the John Kuno festival or celebration. Not really a festival, but a celebration. And that normally takes place in rural areas in Jamaica. I'm not even sure if they still keep up with these things. Okay, students, so that's it for today. There is going to be a link in the description that you can click on and share what you have. Share with me your poster, your letter, or your dialogue. I'm very much interested and I'm anxious to see what you've got. See you there. Okay? Gracias por su atención y participación. It was my pleasure being here with you today. Thank you for your attention and participation. Adios. Goodbye. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, of course. All right, that's it. Ciao, ciao.